Blood Red Sky. We got a request from Gillian Woods. Thank you so much, Gillian. It's nice to get requests. Gillian asked us to review the movie.
Yeah, it was brand new on Netflix at the time, Netflix film. German movie.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's Blutrot Luft. my crap direct translation. I don't know if it actually has a German title. It's dubbed into English, which has its drawbacks.
Yes, I suggest if you are going to watch it when you're not too tired, because it's best with subtitles. But the subtitles was pretty clear.
I mean, today's standards for dubbing is very good.
Yes.
But sometimes it just doesn't feel real enough.
Yeah.
Or, especially if there are kids involved. There's a kid in this movie.
I just wanted to say, yeah.
So if you're going to have an older person faking a kid's voice, it always sounds crap.
Yes.
Or a young kid that's sort of hamming it up a little, then you kind of lose the believability.
Yeah, and there's lots of English language in the movie, so it's not wall-to-wall subtitles.
Yeah, it's sort of half-half.
Half-half, I would say. It's a long running time, about 2 hours.
Which was surprising for this kind of movie. But before we jump into it, I always say I hate watching trailers because they just reveal too much. But now in this movie, it's not. It would be great if this was like a big surprise. The whole deal in this movie, but they kind of show it to you in the trailers. But we'll try and speak around.
Circumvent it slightly as much as we can. It's very difficult actually doing that, but we'll try.
It would be really cool if you've seen this movie in a test screening.
Yes.
Without knowing anything, you're just going in, you just go watch a movie and you go, oh yeah, where'd that come from?
That would be like a left field.
That would be so cool. It's like, imagine people went to see Pulp Fiction on a test screening.
Yeah. Although I had no knowledge, not a trailer, nothing of Pulp Fiction.
True, yeah.
Enjoyed the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, diversions.
Segue.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, trailers reveal a lot. So if you've seen this trailer on Netflix or online, you'd probably know what it's about. But if you haven't, we'll try and around it.
And if you haven't, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah.
We'll still try and around it.
We'll try. So it's a mom and a kid, Nadia, and what's a kid, Elias.
Elias, yeah.
They're flying to the States from Germany to go to a medical facility, clinic, hospital, because she's got
a blood disorder.
A blood issue, yeah.
Yes.
So they have to go there to sort it out. But on the plane, hijackers cause some crap.
And
she's got medication that she needs. These guys get violent, stuff happens.
And there's one guy particularly that's a loose cannon.
It's the obvious loose cannon, which is a bit.
I wanted to flatten him against the wall and knock his head off. It was so.
You always need the asshole loose cannon,
yes.
But yeah, it was a bit overdone. But then later on down the line, it seems like it was necessary for what he ends up doing, which we won't say.
Yeah.
But they've had these in-flight dramas, thrillers, chillers since the 70s with all the airport movies.
Yes.
Wes Craven did Red Eye. Harrison Ford was the president in Air Force One.
Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane with all the
Samuel
Jackson, even Jodie Foster with Flight Plan. Plane's been a hot spot for movies.
Yes, and I think because it's such a claustrophobic, and many people are scared of flying already. It adds that sort of.
Not to forget World War Z with the zombies outbreak on the plane. That was probably one of the most intense ones. There's just nothing you can do with this barrage of people. I just think that I don't know. How are we going to talk around this without giving it away? We'll try.
But it's probably not going to work. It's probably not going to work. I think that based on what you see in the movie poster and based on what you see in the trailer, they do give it away. So spoiler alert, if you want to know nothing about this movie, stop now.
Yes, because we might slip, I don't know, it's going to be difficult. But the head of the hijackers, Dominik Purcell.
That's right.
He was in Prison Break.
Yes.
And Blade Trinity. He was like a king vampire kind of a dude. Hint, hint. And he's been in quite a few superhero TV shows recently, like The Flash and
that's why I don't know much about
Supergirl,
him.
Arrow, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad actor.
No.
Whereas you think he'd play a bigger role in this, it's, you know, this Naja character, it ends up with her being hero, villain, hero, regular mom. She's like three different people.
Let's put it this way, the affliction that she's got sort of almost helps in a way.
Yes, it definitely helps.
Yeah.
It's, without a doubt. Without her issue, they'd all be fucked. Because these guys plan to blow up the plane, and lots of interesting stuff happening. You know, like you sit in this contained tube, how are they going to keep our attention there for 2 hours?
Yes.
But they've got flashbacks that take you back to see how this entire situation ended up like this.
The flashbacks are nice, and they're refreshing, because it sort of, for that moment, takes you out of this claustrophobic space, and you feel like you can exhale a bit. Although the flashbacks in and of themselves are quite hectic as well.
Yeah, and it's revealing, and it
fleshes out the story.
Tells a backstory, which is it's probably not all that necessary.
No, I do think it's necessary. Okay. I do think it was necessary.
Not a protracted, because obviously they space it out.
Yes,
which makes sense.
Yeah, it also makes you feel. It makes you feel for the character, for Nadia. You really feel for her. You feel a lot of sympathy for her, and you feel a lot of sympathy for Elias and the situation. And I think the viewer sort of. It's an endearing thing.
Yeah.
Which is also necessary. Yeah. If you consider.
It's the situation she's in is not of her doing.
No.
The plane hijack is not of her doing, but then what comes out of it, it's necessary.
Yeah. I think we don't have a choice but to if you don't want to, I think we're going to have to talk about the movie and give a little bit away. So I think if you...
Maybe Samuel Jackson will say it best.
I have had it with these motherfucking vampires on this motherfucking plane.
So now that the vampire concept is out and about.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of...
They reminded me, or she reminded me, it's not the... We are sort of almost going back to more sort of the idea, the Nosferatu type vampire, the not pretty...
It's more animalistic.
Very animalistic, very much like 30 Days of Night. So she reminded me of those vampires. They're like more sort of hive mentality than an individual with feelings and being romantic and pretty and beautiful.
And also the main thing with her is she doesn't want to take human blood, because then it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, the reason she's surviving without compromising her own values by drinking human blood.
Which brings us to some moments that Sonia did not like at all.
I wish they didn't put that in the film.
Where a Chihuahua, it looks almost like this guy, just with longer hair.
Yes.
And Sonia was very upset when she saw that.
Very, very upset. I understand the reasoning for it. I do feel that they could have left it out.
But that illustrated that was she does that in order not to do that.
No, for sure. But you know, like I would rather like kill a human than a chihuahua. So it didn't make sense for me.
No, that's you always feel like that. So that's fine. In some parts the soundtrack sounds a bit like John Carpenter's synths.
But it was cool.
Which is I don't know if it was
intentional.
On purpose. But you know, now it's just the last decade. It's just been 80s synths. It's just been 80s synthing everything. But it was cool. But now I haven't even thought of what I'm going to score this.
I actually thought about it.
I think I would give it a. Oh man, I'm between a 6 and a 7, but I will go for a 6.
I scored it in my head 7, but I have to take a point down for the fact that it really did that one scene was upsetting for me, it was a trigger for me. So
No, you could have technically you could have just switched off.
I would have stopped watching the film. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, obviously it's not real.
No. But
It'd be a different story if it was real.
No, absolutely. So. But the implication and the fact that it is a Chihuahua, which is makes it 10 times worse for me.
Well, it's not just a Chihuahua. There's another because in the hold where the dogs are held, then.
Yeah, if you are like a person that's stressed out just by the thought of your pets in a hold in a plane, that will definitely be upsetting for you.
So if you're sensitive about animals, then just keep that in mind.
Be aware, yes. I'm gonna score it. I scored it a 7, but I'm gonna score it a 6 because of that.
Okay, so it's 6 and a 6, and average is 6. The devil's score.
Oh dear. So Gillian, thank you very much for suggesting that we watch this film. I really enjoyed it, and if anyone else wants to make suggestions, please feel free. We would really welcome your thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, we've had some other suggestions. People suggested something, some stuff from the 90s, which I haven't seen since its release on VHS. So I'm gonna have to try and. I can't remember enough to form an opinion, so we might have to track it down and see if we can do it again. But yeah, I mean, we've got links in the comments to most, or if not all, of the series, shows, books, things that we mentioned in these discussions.
Yeah.
We find them for you if you want to go investigate further to check them out. Check it out in the description. Our link to our merch store is in the description. All kinds of horror shirts and
nice
cool
merchandise
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Shining related things with the old shining carpet pattern. Can never go wrong with that. And obviously, again, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your enemies.
Yeah, communicate with us. We enjoy that.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you like vampire movies, check out Blood Red Sky.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
Cheers.